Bose Kotak. Today I will teach you on fuses, that is coming under switchgear and protective device in your 6th semester electrical engineering. Before going to the fuses in detail, I will tell you regarding your introduction, then I will discuss about the characteristics of fuse elements, then I will tell you what are the materials used in fuse wire, then I will discuss in brief the working principle, then I will derive a relation that is between your fusing current and diameter of the fuse wire. Finally, I will solve the problem. Fine. So first I will tell you what is fuse. Now a fuse is a short piece of metal. This is your fuse wire. Fuse wire. It is inserted, it is connected in the circuit, which melts when excessive current flows through it and thus break the circuit. Before going to the topic in detail, first I will discuss what should be the characteristics of fuse element. This is your first point. It should be low melting point. Fuse must be low melting point. Second point, it should be high conductivity. This is the characteristic of a fuse element. Then I will discuss it should be free from deterioration due to oxidation. Then what are the materials used in fuse element? Your number one is lead, then your tin, then your zinc, then your silver. These are the elements used in fuse element. Or you can tell that when you are preparing a fuse wire, these things are used. Again, fuse wire is coming low ampere rating and high ampere rating. For small current, that is up to 10 ampere. You may have seen 2 ampere of fuse, 1 ampere of fuse, 5 ampere of fuse, 10 ampere of fuse. We are using your lead and tin. For preparation of fuse up to 10 ampere, tin your use is 63% and lead is your 37%. This is your low ampere fuse rating, that is up to 10 ampere. Low ampere fuse rating. For higher fuse rating, that is up to 20 ampere, 30 ampere, 40 ampere or 50 ampere, we are using copper or silver. Zinc also you can use. Copper or silver is used for higher fuse element. Now I will discuss about the working principle, that is how a fuse works. Actually it is connected between the power supply and the load. Now I will show you how the fuse is connected. For example, this is your source, this is the phase, this is your load. This is your fuse and this is your load. So this is your fuse. This is your protective device, fuse element. This is a KitKat type of fuse. This is your fuse wire is connected. This is your HRC type of fuse. Actually, fuse wire is inside this element. This is known as the high rupture capacity fuse, and this is known as the KitKat type of fuse, semi-enclosed KitKat type of fuse. Everybody must have seen this fuse. Fine. So actually, what is happening? Fuse is inserted in series with this circuit to be protected. So this is your load, this is circuit. So I want to protect the circuit. So fuse is connected between power end and the load end. Because I am interested to protect this load, so it is connected in series. So actually what happens? Now under normal operating condition, the fuse element is at a temperature below its melting point. Hence it carries the normal current without overheating. What is the meaning? Now for example, this is a 10 ampere fuse. This is a 10 ampere fuse. So up to 10 ampere, load can take current up to 10 ampere and it will give protection up to 10 ampere. Now what will happen? Now if the current is 9 ampere, current is 8 ampere, current is 5 ampere, so that it will not be heated. If current exceeds than the 10 ampere, for example 15 ampere, 20 ampere, 30 ampere, immediately it will start heating. Finally it will melt and finally it will be disconnected. It will be disconnected. If current will flow more than 10 ampere, I will show you an example. Right? For example, this is your 1 kilowatt load. Generally the voltage is 250 volt. So what is power? What is your current rating? What is your current rating? Now VI cos phi, everybody knows our formula of power, VI cos phi is equal to 1000 watts. Right? So what is the voltage? Now 250 into current. In domestic supply, generally we are taking power factor is 0.9, 0.8, 0.85, 0.92. It is less than 1. So generally in domestic cases, we are taking the power factor is 0.8, 0.9. Let I am taking the power factor is 0.8. Right? So into 0.8. So I is equal to 500. So when the load is connected up to 1 kilowatt, this load is 1 kilowatt. So what is the current flowing? The current flowing is 5 ampere. But the fuse connected is 10 ampere. So this load will continue without any interruption, without any problem. So this is behaved as a protective device. It is giving protection. For example, I will increase the load. I will increase the load. Let the load is, you take the load is 3 kilowatt. So what will happen? This is a single phase power. Power formula is VI cos phi. So it is your 3 kilowatt. Or I can write this is 3000 watt. So what I can write? Now voltage, let me take 250 into current into 0.8 is equal to 3000. Or I can write I is equal to 15 ampere. Now you mark it. When I am giving a load of 3 kilowatt, current flowing here is 15 ampere. So what will happen? Now the protective device given is 10 ampere. Fuser is giving this to 10 ampere. So what will happen? It will start heating. Then what will happen? Now it will start melting. Finally it will be disconnected. So the load end and power end will be separated. So this is the work of the fuse. I will derive a relation between your fusing current and diameter of fuser. So this is your fuser. It is prepared from copper. You can make from this tin, lead, different alloys are there. So this is your fuser. This is your fuser. This is your fuser. Fine. It is cylindrical in shape. Wire. What is this shape? A cylindrical. Let the diameter is deep. Diameter of the fuser is deep. Let length of the fuser is capital L. L is the length of the wire, D is the diameter of the fuser, and let current flowing is I ampere. Current flowing through the fuser is I ampere. So I will find a relation between I and D. I will find a relation between diameter of the fusor and the current flowing in the fusor. So actually what is happening? Now when current will flow, it will be heated. Fusor will be heated. So finally what will happen? Now actually this heat will be goes out in the form of conduction, convection, and radiation. Now what is that heat? Now this is loss. We are calling this the copper loss, I square loss. So this I square loss or copper loss will be goes out in form of conduction, convection, and radiation. So what I can write? Now I can write I square loss is equal to, again one thing I am telling. So this loss goes out in the form of conduction, convection, radiation. Actually what happens? Now it depends on the surface area of the conductor, or you can tell that the surface area of the fuse element. So what is the fuse element? This is your fuse element whose length is L, diameter is D. So what is the surface area? Now perimeter into length. So this is your pi D. So this is your pi D. This is your perimeter. This is your perimeter, and this is the line. So this is your pi D into L. This is your total surface area. Or I can write I square into R is equal to some constant pi D L. I can write. So what is R? Now this is the resistance of the fuse element. I can write in form of I square. What I can write R? Now rho L by, so this is capital L. Capital L, don't confuse. This is capital L. What is it? Now this is the cross section of the fusor. Cross section. The cross sectional area. So I can write I square rho L by A is equal to some constant pi D into L. Or I can write I square into rho by A is equal to some constant L I can say. So I can write K pi D. Or I can write I square rho A, I can write pi D square by 4 is equal to K pi D. Or I can write 4 I square rho by pi D square is equal to K pi D. Or I can write 4 rho by pi square I can write is equal to some constant into decay, right? Or I can write I square is equal to K divided by 4 rho by pi square into decay. So this is a constant. 4 is a constant. Rho, what is rho? Now the resistivity of the fuse element. This is another constant. You may have studied resistivity. What is resistivity? Now it depends on the metal. It may be copper, it may be aluminium, it may be your silver, it may be iron, it may be gold. So it depends on the metal. So resistivity of the different metal is different. For example, copper 1.76. So different values are there. So this is a constant. So I can write I square is equal to another constant into decay. Or I can write I square is directly proportional to decay. Or I can write I is directly proportional to d3 by 2. So what is the current flowing? Now current flowing in the fusor is directly proportional to d to power 3 by 2. So actually what is happening? Now this is your KitKat type of fuse, and this is your base, and this is your top. So what is happening? Now this depends on the diameter, motive, diameter, and the length of the fuse wire. Again, this KitKat type of fuse, it is coming up to this is 16 ampere fuse. Its capacity of the base and your top is up to 60 ampere. Voltage is your 250 volt. So above it, we have to use the different size of KitKat type of fuse. It may be 20 ampere. It may be your voltage, higher voltage also is there, 415 volt, your 30 ampere, 20 ampere fuses are there. Above these fuses, we are using this HRC type of fuse, because this fuse has some problem. This fuse has some problems because this is semi-enclosed type of fuse. It is not completely closed. So what will happen? Now when current will flow due to the short circuit or due to the high value of current, what will happen? Now there will be an arc. It is dangerous. Due to the arcing, it may catch the fire. For example, I will show you. So this is your power supply. This is your fuse element. This is your load. So just I was discussing regarding 1 kilowatt load. When the load was in 1 kilowatt, the current was 5 ampere. When the load was 3 kilowatt, your current is 15 ampere. So actually what is happening? Now if I inserted the fuse of 10 ampere, above 10 ampere, it will be heated and finally it will be disconnected. This is known as the overloading of fuses. If the short circuit occurs, what is the short circuit? For example, due to any problem, it will be shorted. It will shorted, or you can tell that directly phase and neutral will be short circuited. Then what will happen? Now what is the current I? What is the current I? Now I is equal to V by impedance, or you can tell V by resistance, V by impedance. This is your voltage. What is the voltage? Now voltage is equal to 250 volt. Then what is the Z? Now this is the impedance of the load. Impedance of the load. When this is short circuit, what is the meaning of short? Actually directly connected. There is no load is not offering any resistance or not offering any inductance or capacity, directly offering the zero resistance. Or you can write that Z is equal to 0, nearly 0. So what is the current? The current is infinite, very high value of current. We are calling this is a short circuit. Short circuit. This is directly shorted. So this is the infinite, is not a greater what? Very high value of current. Very high value of current. So immediately it will be start heating and finally immediately will be disconnected. This is known as the protective device. So this fuse element give protection against the overload and the short circuit condition. You see, however, when a short circuit or overload occurs, the current through the fuse element melts or blows out. This is your blows out. 48 your blows out. Disconnect this circuit to be protected by it. This is your circuit. This is your load. So it is disconnected from the supply. The time required to blow out the fuse depends upon the magnitude of the excessive current. Now what is this meaning? For example, this is a fuse. If the load current is, for example, the load current is 9 9.9 ampere. It is just near to the rating of the fuse element. What is the fuse element? The fuse element is 10 ampere. What is the load current? The load current is 9.9 ampere. So what will happen? It will start heating because it is approaching towards its limit, approaching towards the rating of the fuse element. So it is approaching 9.9 ampere. It is 10 ampere. So it will start heating. For example, this current is 15 ampere. Load current is 15 ampere. Load current is 15 ampere. Now what will happen? It will be disconnected. It will be heated. It will start melting. Then finally the fuse will be disconnected. So it takes some time. Now what is the time? It will take some seconds. It may take 20 seconds. It may take 25 seconds to disconnect the circuit. For example, I will connect here 10 kilowatt load. I will connect here 10 kilowatt load. So what is the current? The current is VI cos phi is your 10 kilowatt, or I can write VI cos phi is equal to 10,000 watt. 10,000 watt. What is the voltage? The voltage is 250. Domestic voltage 250. So 250 into current I into what is the power factor? You can take 0.9, you can take 0.8, you can take 0.95 because our domestic supply power factor is more than 0.9. Then sometimes if you are connecting the inductive load, capacitive load, the power factor may decrease. So you can take power factor 0.8 also. I am taking 0.8 power factor. Fine. So I can write 10,000. So what is the current? Now 200 into Y is equal to 10,000. Or I is equal to 15 ampere. I is 15 ampere. So current here is 15 ampere. Current here is your 15 ampere. So what will happen? So this load, so the current, 50 ampere current will pass through the fuse element. But the capacity of the fuse is 10 ampere. So immediately it will start heating. Immediately it will start melting. And immediately within no time it will be disconnected from the source supply. Now what will happen? It will be disconnected. So what is the difference between a load 15 ampere and 50 ampere? Now the time taken to melt or disconnect fuse element for 15 ampere is high. For 50 ampere, for example, the load is 50 ampere. Current taken by the fuse element to break the circuit will be minimum. Within fraction of second, it may be 5 seconds, it may be 4 seconds, it will be disconnected. Within 5 seconds, it will be disconnected. Fine. So this is your what I was explaining. When a short circuit or overload occurs, the current through the fuse element melts or blows out. Disconnect the circuit to be protected by the time required to blow out the fuse depends on the magnitude of the excessive current. So it depends on the magnitude of the excessive current. If the current is high, or you can tell if the current is high, time required to break the circuit is minimum. Fine. Then I will work out a problem for you. So what we have learned? Now I square is directly proportional to dq. From the derivation, what we have learned? Now I square is directly proportional to diameter k. So what is the problem? A fusor of circular press section has a radius of 0.8 mm. Fine. This is a fusor. A fusor of circular, this is circular cross section, has a radius of 0.8 mm. So radius, you take, this is your radius R1. Radius R1. You can tell this is your diameter is D1. Diameter is D1, radius is D1. So what is R1? Now R1 is equal to 0.8 mm. 0.8 mm. The wire blows out at a current of 8 ampere. So what is the capacity of the fusor? Now current capacity is 8 ampere. Current capacity is 8 ampere, I1, or you can write I1 is equal to 8 ampere. What he is asking? He is asking calculate the radius of the wire that will blow up at a current of 1 ampere. So this is another figure. This is your another figure. Its radius is R2. What is the current flowing? The current flowing is I2 ampere. Current flowing is I2 ampere. What is the value? R2. What is he asking? Calculate the radius of the wire that will blow up at a current of 1 ampere. I have to calculate what is the value of R2. I have to calculate what is the value of R2. Now what is the current? Now I2 is equal to your 1 ampere. So you mark it. This is a fuse wire having radius R1 and I1, both are known to me. And this is a fuse wire, I2 is known. I am interested to calculate what is the value of R2. What I know from the derivation? I square is directly proportional to dq. Or I can write I2 square is directly proportional to d2q, or I can write I1 square is directly proportional to d1q. So if I will divide equation number 1 by equation number 2, this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So you divide equation number 1 by equation number 2. So what will happen? Now equation number 2 I can write dividing equation 2 by equation 1. Dividing this to equation 1. So what I can write? I2 square divided by I1 square is equal to d2q divided by d1q. Okay. So what is I2? Now I2 is 1 square. I2 is equal to 1. What is I1? I1 is 8. I1 square is equal to d2. D2 I can write 2R2 divided by 2R1. What is your R1? R1 is 0.8 mm. I can write into 0.8 full cube. Or I can write 1 by 8 whole square is equal to 2 to cancel, at 2 by 0.8 whole cube. 0. So this is your 2 by 3, or I can write 1 by 8 2 by 3 is equal to R2 into 0.8, R2 by 0.8. Or I can write, what I can write? 1 by 8, 1 by 3 into 2 equal to 2 by 0.8. Or I can write, this is your half into 2 is equal to 2 by 0.8. Or I can write, this is your 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is equal to R2 by 0.8. So what is R2? R2 is equal to 0.8 by 4 is equal to 0.2. What is the unit? What is the unit? A fuse of circular cross section has a radius of 0.8 mm. So definitely this is mm. So R2 is 0.2. R2 is 0.2 mm. So this is your a small problem. Next class I will discuss detail about the construction